Welcome back to Unforced Errors. This is episode 3. If you missed the previous episode, they go in order of 1 and 2. You should check those out. I am Frank. Still Carl over here, right?
I am Carl.
Good. Okay. Let's start with some more Joola paddles, which I'm sure people are wondering why we keep talking about Joola paddles. But shout out to the Pickle Bar. They are... There you go. They are a Joola ambassador, so they're able to get access to these, and we can try a bunch of them out.
Hey, it's Future Frank here. We recorded this episode a few times and completely forgot to mention which paddle we're actually talking about here. So we are talking about the Joola Perseus IV. So just wanted to clarify that so that audio listeners are not confused as to what Joola paddle we're rambling about now. All right, back to the podcast.
Carl, I didn't get a chance to play with it. I know you played with both the 14 and the 16 millimeter at Open Play one of the mornings, but I'll run through the specs real quick and then you can give us your take. So both 14 and 16 very similar to the Agassi as far as the shape is definitely different, but the paddle size is standard elongated 16.5 by 7.5 from Joola. Average weight's 8.1 ounces, 5.5 grip length, and grip circumference 4.25 for the 16, 4.125 for the 14.
Yes.
What did you think of those paddles? And I guess give us the difference between the two, what you felt.
So for me personally, I really liked the 14 better, which I normally don't like a 14 millimeter paddle. All the paddles I've played with that have been 14, I've been like, it's not really for me. Probably a control issue. But the 14 just felt really responsive. The pop was great. The power was great. The sweet spot on these things, it's huge. So it's hard to really have a bad hit. And sometimes, even when you do hit bad, and it stays in bounds, people just think you had a good shot. And that's good for people like me.
Yes, people like us. Yeah, that's perfect.
The 16 really felt, honestly, exactly like the 3S, just slightly different, which is a great paddle too. I never played well with it when I demoed it, and the 16 millimeter was kind of the same way for me. It's a good paddle, but I just didn't play well with it, which I know you did when you demoed it.
Yeah, I demoed the Tyson McGuffin, which Jake, the pro at Pickleball, did recommend to me because of the one. It's a smaller handle, for sure. So it's an interesting looking paddle when you compare it to some of the other ones, but it's a lot. It's a lot of paddle.
Yeah.
And not a lot of grip, which was great because at the time I was still doing the one-handed backhand, and I did play great with it. But I don't know if that was a fluke because I didn't play with it after that, but we did play for about 3 hours with it, and it felt unbelievable. Yeah. But
I think you played the game of your life.
Probably. Yeah, that checks out. It would never happen in a tournament. We know that.
Oh, no.
But
don't get crazy.
But yeah, no, I liked it, and I liked the Agassi as well and the Gruff. So that was, I'm not surprised. Joola's putting out great stuff, and it does appear that this one got the double certification as well. So
and the NFC chip,
and it is NFC. So you got UPAA certified, USAP PB Core 0.343 certified, and it has the NFC chip to stop those Alibaba paddles from encroaching on their space. So I get it. I mean, Joola's a huge name and people want to make their paddles, and I know it's been out there on Reddit and other places that people are buying these paddles and they're 70% of a mod for $40. Yeah. It's like, if you're into that, whatever, but I'm out on that idea. Yeah. But so now you're scanning the paddle with your phone and it brings up a registration, and so they can authenticate that it's a real paddle. So
yeah,
kind of cool technology. I'm into the tech.
Maybe you could screen print the registration and put it up on your wall.
Maybe, and we might.
That's what I would do. I'll put it right here.
I think that's definitely something to consider. Cool. In other topics, I did finally receive the head shoes. So we have a lesson today, lesson 2 with Keith.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw those on for that, and then we'll probably play some pickleball later this week as well. So there'll be a video dedicated to that, or to those shoes coming out. So keep an eye out for that.
They look good.
They're good looking shoes, and they seem to be very well built. It's interesting. The material is interesting on it. It's almost like a basketball on the top, in the front part of the toe. So I think that'll be good. Other gear that we're talking about. I do have a bag that I'm excited about that is stuck on my chair. I think you can see that. Anyways, this is the Rally Titan pickleball bag. Can we see it? Give us a spin, Carl.
Look at that.
So here's the thing.
It is a nice bag. I like the material there, and the matte look of it too.
Yeah, and it's a big bag, but it really condenses. So hopefully you can see this, but the problem I had with a lot of these other bags is I previously was using, we both are using the same, like the small $20 Amazon that holds a couple paddles, and it just wasn't enough space. I mean,
once you get more paddles, you need a bigger bag.
And we just keep acquiring paddles. So, but it just wasn't enough space. And like if people wanted to come out and play and we wanted to bring a few paddles, then it was an issue. And then I could only fit a few balls in there. This has a shoe compartment in the bottom as well,
and the air holes for it too.
Got to have air holes. That's important. Water bottle holder as well on here, and it's just let me unzip this. It expands, and it's massive. I mean, you can fit, I bet you could easily fit 8 paddles in there.
Oh yeah, easily.
And then it has 2 side zippers as well. So I was not familiar with Rally Titan, but I was on the hunt for a new bag because I needed something a little bit bigger. And a lot of these bags are just massive. They have that huge hump that comes off of it. And I just didn't really, I like something that I can condense when it's full. That's fine, but when it's not full, I want to be able to condense it.
Yeah, some people like the look of that round bag. I really like that. And like you said, it's big enough. I think Stu could fit all of his paddles in there and be fine too. Shout out Stu and his many paddles. Yeah,
that's where we'll be renting paddles from now on. But yeah, I mean, if you compare it to a lot of these bags, this bag, it was on sale for, I think it was $70. So I don't know that you can beat it. It's really good quality. I was not familiar with the brand, but I looked them up. They also make paddles and some other accessories. So this is not to be confused with the Titan pickleball launcher.
Yes,
totally different.
Confused for a second.
Yeah, totally different company. But yeah, so they were great. I did have an issue where one of the zippers didn't come in, and I reached out to the owners, and they were able to take care of that easily.
Oh, really?
They sent me another one. He was offered to exchange the whole bag. I said, no worries, just send me a zipper. So it was just a little clip-on, easy to do. So yeah, that was good. So go check out Rally Titan because they're selling some good bags over there. And if you compare it to something like the kitchen bags, which are $250, $300, I mean, it holds more than that, and it's going to be, and those are great bags, nothing to take away from it.
It's just expensive.
But it's a lot. So if you want a bigger bag, I think that's definitely something to consider. So, all right, Carl, let's discuss some news here.
What's the news, Frank?
We've got all kinds of news. So we've got a new pickleball place opening that's going to be 24/7.
Yeah, not near us, though.
Not near us.
It's in Long Island City.
Okay.
New York.
In New York. So that's an interesting concept. We've done the 24/7 gym thing for a long time, and now we're doing pickleball, which I mean, I kind of love it.
I'm down with that.
I mean, especially if you're somebody, I previously worked jobs where I was on midnights where, I mean, imagine being able to get out there and mix it up in the middle of the night. It's not as crowded. You can have courts to yourself, I would imagine. I mean, I think that's going to be really cool, and I would imagine this is the first of its kind, but it's...
Yeah, I think it's called Gotham Pickleball. It looks like they're open 24/7, and they have instant replays, they have free rentals, all kinds of stuff. So, Gotham, bring that down to Charleston.
We need that.
We will keep you in business.
We need that. Speaking of places in Charleston for the local crowd here. Pickleball Kingdom in Mount Pleasant and Bell Hall is opening. So
Yes.
I know they've got a tournament coming up on the 20th, I believe, but they're actually open to the public on the 31st. So there's a Pickleball Charleston tournament that we were looking at. Just our schedules didn't line up to attend that.
I think it's the 22nd.
It may be the 22nd.
Saturday.
There you go. So Saturday the 22nd is when that tournament is. That'll probably be the first time they get a good group or a large group of people. I know they've been doing some soft opening over there, but place looks awesome. It's inside the Bell Hall Plaza. So yeah, we're looking forward to going over there and hitting a few balls. Haven't had a lot of indoor experience. I know you have.
Yeah, up in Pennsylvania, I played indoor a few times, but it's a little different.
Yeah, so looking forward to that as well. Great. So I think other than that, some additional news would be that we have some MLP trades that went on.
Ooh.
So there's a deadline, and MLP has all kinds of stuff going on. So this is trade window number 2 updates. So March 13th, if I can get this to load properly, Bay Area Breakers acquired Darian DJ Young, and Dallas Flash acquire Wyatt Stone in cash considerations. And then on the 18th, Bay Area Breakers again, they're receiving Alex Truong, and Utah Black Diamonds receive Alice Jones, which is interesting because both of them are Utah natives, but someone had to go. So looks like Alex is finding a new home, so we'll be excited to watch her and see how she does there.
Yeah, I think it's a good fit.
Yeah. We also, speaking of MLP, we have the Challenger Series coming up.
Yes.
Also local-ish, in Columbia. So that's coming up. I think Carl and I are going to attempt to attend that. That's on March 28th to the 30th at KC Pickleball Complex in Columbia, South Carolina. So Challenger is the up-and-coming pros that eventually then will...
Like us.
Yeah, sure. Just like us. Up-and-coming pros that will then transition into the premier MLP league from that. So I think that'll be a fun event to go to. It's about an hour and 45 minutes from us here in Charleston, but I think we'll try and shoot up there and get some content.
Yeah, it'll be great. I think it sounds like a really cool event.
Yeah. We also have the Scott Peterson news.
Whoa.
Which really is fascinating stuff. So
Pickleball in prison.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go over what Scott Peterson did to land him in prison. You can look that up, but not a great guy. And but pickleball has been expanding in these prisons for a little while now, a few years, which I get it. Like it's a great thing to do outside of basketball that people in prison can do.
Yeah.
And then you can come out when you're 70 and be a 5-0.
Lift weights, play some pickleball.
Yeah. So it's interesting because this person that attacked him, Charles Miles, said that the reason that he attacked him is he didn't recognize Peterson and mistakenly thought that he was charging at him with a weapon. Turns out, in reality, he was just chasing after a runaway pickleball with a paddle.
Okay.
A common misunderstanding.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
I mean,
prison, out of prison.
So when they asked Miles about it, he said it was God's plan. I mean, hey.
Hey, Miles.
I can't even argue with that.
Yeah.
I can't argue.
That is some wild news.
There's a whole documentary on pickleball in prison that I think we need to look at because I think it'd be interesting to see the behind the scenes of what's going on over there and what kind of leagues they're forming in these state prisons. All right. I don't want this to become the we crap on Ben Johns show, but he did get upset again.
No, we love Ben Johns here at Unforced Errors.
Like we said, it's just so hard to stay at the top. I mean, it is so hard.
Well, and you're always in the light, so anything that happens is going to become news.
Yeah. But this time it was Zane Ford, the number 17 seed, beat him 11-8, 7-11, and 11-3. So this was the CIBC Texas Open. So it'll be interesting to see how Ben bounces back, and I'm sure that he will. But, sometimes you just have a fall from grace a little bit, and then you climb back on the mountain. But it's tough to stay at that level for sure.
Yeah, sometimes you got to check your mental game.
So yeah, I think that's the majority of the news. We are excited about this next lesson tonight with Keith.
Yeah.
I feel like
Shout out Ferger Burger.
Hopefully we'll get Keith on the podcast at some point so he can educate
And entertain.
He definitely will entertain. We're going to try and record the lesson tonight so that you guys can take a look and see just how bad we are. And you'll be like, why do they have a podcast?
Yeah.
Because we're here for the common man, okay? And the common woman. But yeah, I mean, it's very hard to change these mechanics. We should have definitely taken a lesson sooner. I could give you that advice.
Yes. Just jump in a lesson, even if it's a couple lessons before you start. It'll really teach you the mechanics, and then you won't form any terrible habits like we have, which I'm still struggling with.
Yeah, I think the problem for us has been the emphasis on spin, as we try and do way too much spinning.
Dude, I love spin.
It's great, except that it causes a lot of bad habits when you're not doing it right. And when Keith was telling us, like, oh, hit it this way and do this, I was like, oh, it's just generating topspin naturally.
Yeah.
I don't need to.
I don't have to roll my wrist over.
Roll this over and hit it into the net or blast it out when I don't get on top of it. So
also, though, I think what he taught us in the first lesson too was really good for like court fluency. You know, like kind of knowing where you are on the court, because that's always been kind of something I'm second guessing. Like, is this my ball? Is this their ball? Because like I've said before, I'm a people pleaser. I need this person to enjoy their game.
Yeah, of course, that's a main concern.
But learning, you know, kind of where to be and hey, this is my ball or this is their ball, that has been super helpful too. Because I feel like when you're first starting out, you don't really understand where you're supposed to be in doubles. So I'm excited to kind of, you know, learn that and make that kind of a thing that just happens that I don't really have to think about.
Right.
Which will help my mental game a lot.
There you go. That, there's just so much strategy that goes into it, and you're so focused on just hitting the ground strokes that you're forgetting, like, where should I be putting this ball? And I'm not saying just placing it in these just general areas on the court or what you should expect.
Yeah, not going for the kill shot every time is important.
Right. But, you know, back to that mental game.
That comes with time.
Right. I did want to mention that Zane Ford, when he beat Ben Johns in the interview, he did say that a lot of the reason why he was successful is he's been working a lot on his mental game.
Oh, yeah.
So
he watched episode 2.
He had to have watched episode 2. Zane, thank you for watching the episode. That is awesome. We will look forward to having you on at some point. But yeah, I think there's a lot to be said though about the strategy of it, and it's hard to figure that out when you're just trying to do so many other things, and learning the rules when you start is hard enough to keep score.
Keeping it all in your head. Yeah.
And so I think that's part of it. And then just going to open play, I think another thing about it is just go in there and be better. People are too busy trying to win. Yeah. They're calling out balls. They're like, if it's close, it's not really necessary to call
the game super serious. Take how you're playing serious if you want to get better.
Right. I mean, if you're playing a team and one of the people on the other team is substantially better than the other, then hit it to that person.
Yeah, don't just go for a win. You know, go for growth, go for learning.
Yeah, I think it's really important to understand that unless you just want to stop, and some people are totally fine with, let me just go play, rec play, and have fun. But if you want to get better, you have to use those open play or those rec play scenarios to focus on hitting these shots that you're trying out that you wouldn't necessarily try, you don't feel comfortable with before a tournament.
Yeah.
So if you're somebody that's interested in getting better or playing tournaments, then that's what you should be doing. You should be strategizing. You should be working with your partner to work on the weaknesses because even if you are both decent players and you've never played together, it's good to mix it up and kind of get a feel for different people and see who you play best with and different things like that. So
definitely.
Cool. All right, well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for episode 3. A little bit shorter one, but we have some things in the pipeline that we're pretty excited about, so we'll share those with you at some point.
Yeah, and good things coming.
Yeah, so we appreciate you, as always, for sticking around and tuning in. This is episode 3 of the Unforced Errors podcast. I am Frank.
I am Carl.
And we are out. Thanks for tuning in.